Like the continuation of a conversation we've been having my whole life. Because while it may now be...
Have you ever wondered what it's like to grow up as the child of a former first daughter? Chelsea Clinton, the only child of former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, has spent her life in the public spotlight. From her early years in the White House to her current role as a global health advocate and author, Chelsea has carved her own path and built a unique legacy. But the story doesn't end with her. It continues with her own daughter, Charlotte Clinton Mezvinsky. When Charlotte was born in 2014, media outlets all over the world celebrated the arrival of the newest member of the Clinton family. From the very beginning, Charlotte's life has been a blend of public interest and private moments, much like her mother's childhood. As Chelsea Clinton balanced her professional responsibilities with motherhood, the world watched with curiosity to see how the next generation would grow up. The fascination with the children of famous figures is nothing new. For decades, Americans have followed the lives of presidential families, often marveling at how they grow and change over time. With every new photo or public appearance, people speculate about their personalities, interests, and futures. For Charlotte, this attention started before she could even walk or talk. In today's video, we'll take a look at how Charlotte Clinton Mezvinsky, once known for her adorable childhood moments, is growing up and how she's starting to come into her own. From her earliest days as the center of attention to her recent public appearances, Charlotte's story is one of family, transformation, and the unique challenges of growing up in the public eye. Stay with us as we explore how Chelsea Clinton's daughter went from being America's little darling to the remarkable young person she is becoming today. When Charlotte Clinton Mezvinsky was born on September 26, 2014, she instantly became a media sensation. Photos of Chelsea Clinton and her husband, Mark Mezvinsky, leaving the hospital with their newborn were splashed across newspapers and websites. The world got its first glimpse of the Clinton family's next generation, and the excitement was palpable. Charlotte's arrival wasn't just a personal milestone for her parents. It also marked the beginning of a new chapter for two of America's most prominent political families. From the very start, Charlotte's early years were filled with love, attention, and the occasional flash of a camera. Chelsea often shared sweet photos and stories of Charlotte's milestones, like her first steps, first words, and adorable playtime moments. The world saw Charlotte attending book signings with her mom, joining her grandparents at family events, and even toddling around at major celebrations. These candid snapshots offered a peek into the normal, joyful side of a family often in the headlines for much bigger reasons. What made Charlotte's early years particularly heartwarming was the effort her parents made to give her as normal a childhood as possible. Despite her high-profile background, Chelsea and Mark were determined to shield their daughter from excessive media attention. They wanted her to enjoy simple pleasures, like playground visits, story time, and birthday parties, without the pressures that come from being born into the spotlight. Chelsea has spoken about how she learned resilience and the importance of privacy from her own upbringing, and she's passed those values on to her children. Charlotte's relationship with her grandparents, Bill and Hillary Clinton, has also been a special highlight. Both have spoken publicly about the joy they feel in their roles as grandpa and grandma. Photos of little Charlotte with her grandparents, whether at campaign events or family holidays, captured softer, more relatable side of the Clinton family. To many, these images were a reminder that even those in the highest offices cherish the simple moments of family life. As Charlotte grew, her natural charm and infectious smile won over many. She became known for her adorable appearances and sweet interactions, serving as a symbol of hope and continuity for those who have followed the Clinton family for decades. Through it all, Chelsea and Mark continued to nurture her sense of wonder and curiosity, laying the foundation for the remarkable young person Charlotte is becoming. As Charlotte Clinton Mezvinsky began to grow, it quickly became clear that her life would always be a delicate balance between privacy and publicity. With a last name recognized worldwide and a family history embedded in American politics, Charlotte's every appearance sparked interest. Whether she was attending a charity event with her mother, visiting her grandparents at public functions, or simply walking in the park, photographers and fans were never far behind. Yet, Chelsea Clinton and Mark Mezvinsky have remained remarkably intentional about how much of Charlotte's life they share. They understand the pressures that can come from growing up under constant observation, something Chelsea herself experienced during her years in the White House. As a result, the family has managed to keep most of Charlotte's childhood moments private, only occasionally sharing glimpses on social media or at significant public events. Even with this careful approach, Charlotte's public appearances have revealed much about her personality. At various events, she's been spotted confidently holding her mother's hand, waving to crowds and chatting with adults with a poise that seems well beyond her years. Observers often note how comfortable and composed Charlotte seems, whether she's attending a book launch, a charity gala, or simply walking through the city. It's clear she's learning early how to handle attention with grace, a skill passed down from both sides of her family. One of the biggest influences on Charlotte's development has undoubtedly been the example set by her parents. Chelsea Clinton is not just a public figure. She's also an advocate, a writer, and a role model. Through her own work with children's health, education, and global initiatives, Chelsea has shown Charlotte the value of making a positive impact. Mark Mezvinsky, too, offers a steady, supportive presence, guiding his daughter with wisdom and humility. As Charlotte continues to grow, she is also benefiting from a rich family legacy of education and activism. With parents and grandparents who value learning, service, and resilience, Charlotte's upbringing is filled with opportunities to discover her own interests and talents. Whether she chooses a public path or prefers a quieter life, she's already developing the confidence and empathy needed to navigate a world that's always watching. Other countries have weighed in too, each with their own perspective. France, for example, came out strong in support of UNESCO and said they're committed to keeping the agency going, even if America steps back. Israel, on the other hand, welcomed Trump's decision. Israeli officials have often complained that UNESCO is unfair to them, especially with how it handles history and holy sites in the Middle East. So for them, the U.S. pulling out feels like a win and a sign that their concerns are finally being heard. Back in the United States, not everyone thinks leaving UNESCO is a good move. Many Democrats and people who support global cooperation say this is a mistake. Their main worry is that when America pulls out of groups like UNESCO, it gives more power to other countries like China to shape global rules and decisions. These critics argue that even if the U.S. doesn't agree with everything UNESCO does, it's better to have a seat at the table and help guide things, rather than just walking away. It's also worth mentioning that the U.S. used to provide a pretty big chunk of UNESCO's funding, around 8% of the total budget. In recent years, that amount has dropped, but it's still significant. With the U.S. leaving, UNESCO will have less money to spend on projects, and it might need to find new sources of support. While some say the group will survive just fine, others warn that it'll be tougher to get things done without America's help. Overall, this whole situation shows how complicated international organizations can be. UNESCO isn't just about old buildings or history textbooks. It's also about tackling big issues like how we use technology, how we deal with climate change, and how countries teach the next generation. For some people, these are exactly the reasons America should stay involved. For others, they're reasons to step away if they think the group has lost its way. Either way, it's clear that the U.S. leaving UNESCO is about a lot more than just one agency. It's about what role America wants to play in the world.